Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this walkthrough of the Bad Girl Tarot. This is a deck by Katie Skelly and I'm really excited to take you on a tour through this deck. It is not new, but I recently encountered this deck when I found that the creator had released a Bad Girl Oracle on Kickstarter. I think that Kickstarter campaign is complete. I may be wrong. If I am wrong, I'll have a link to it down below. But you can probably follow the creation at Katie Skelly's website, which I think is katieskelly.com. But I don't think I have another card for her right now. When she shipped this deck to me, she also included this gorgeous holographic moon sticker. Hello? Look at the stunningness of this sticker. I mean, yeah, there's a bum in there, but it's very tasteful, and I just think this is such a pretty sticker, so I can't wait to use that. I'm just going to set that out of the way. We're going to dive into the cards. I had Peggy help me pick a beautiful cloth to pair with this walkthrough, and look at the gorgeous job she did at Matchy Matchy. So pretty. All right, let's get into these. There is not a guidebook. It is just the cards. Here's what the backings look like. I'm definitely going to be edging this deck in black as soon as I possibly can. But that is what the backings look like. Really, really cute. These like skulls with wigs. Love it. I'm going to be zooming us in, but let's take a look at the size first and the cardstock. So it's a thin, flexible cardstock. Pretty standard. It feels like it'll hold up just fine. It's bendy. It'll riffle, shuffle well. This is the Rider-Waite-Smith Centennial. You can tell that this deck is noticeably wider and taller than a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. But I don't mind larger cards. It's a little bit more wider. Wow, guys. It's wider than the Rider-Waite-Smith, but not all that much tall. Well, I guess it's a bit taller. Yeah, so some of you may find that it's a little tricky to shuffle. Again, I have larger hands, so I don't tend to struggle with larger decks, but your mileage may vary. Let's get zoomed in and take a look at these cards. Some of them do get a little bit rebellious, such as our Fool here. Let's get closer and you'll see what I mean. So here we have our Fool, and this is so cute because the idea here, she's bending over to pick flowers and totally mindless of the fact that she's super flashing people. It's just like kind of a funny way to depict this card. I appreciate it. I think it's cute. Here's our Magician. She looks like she's definitely confident, has life figured out. There's a real sort of 70s vibe to this entire deck, which I think is really cool. The High Priestess. This to me literally looks like a graphic depiction of the 5 layers of the self, or the 5 koshas, which is a sort of yogic philosophy that I'm somewhat familiar with. This is what this makes me think of. I think it's really cool as the High Priestess. There's different ways to view this, but to me it's like about connecting with the innermost self, and that actually is pretty deep and works really well. Even though I think this is a more playful deck in general, I think that really, really works. The Empress. I really like the close-up kind of feel. I also feel like the fact that she looks like she's willing to take care of business, but all the like symbologies there. She's got the shield, you see the Venus there, you've got the crown of stars. Totally works. The Emperor. We've got the armor and the cloak. Again, very Rider-Waite-Smith, super easy to read, but with some personality and some sass. I dig it. Here's our Hierophant. Really interesting because you get this idea of sort of the rebel beneath the robes, or the rebel that is existing even within a structured or more dogmatic tradition. Super interesting. You've got the white lilies and the red roses here. Here's our Lovers. It's got a very comic book style, which makes sense. That is Katie's art style. The Chariot. Sort of a Harley energy there. Strength. I don't know why I love this so much. I just think it's super cute. The Hermit. It is very female-centric. Wheel of Fortune. Justice. The Hanged Man. Serious rebel energy. There's a lot of cigarettes that feature throughout this deck. Again, I think just trying to capture that rebellious energy. Keeping in mind it's called the Bad Girl Tarot. Death. I love Temperance. I love that she's sitting down, like taking a little rest. Still doing her job, right? but making sure she's comfortable at the same time. She still has part of her on land and part of her in water. I mean, the symbology works. The Devil. The Tower. The Star. I love the idea of bathing in cool water on a hot summer day, because that's kind of what the Star is like. You've been, you know, through it and you're kind of getting that refresh, right? There's a glimmer of something. There's our Moon card, just like my sticker. Still an aspect here of connecting to the inner wild, right? Diving into the subconscious. I think you could give legit serious readings with this deck without any problem at all. The Sun. This is a great one for me because one of the keywords I use personally for the Sun card is authenticity. And I think that really shows here. This is somebody who isn't afraid to be exactly who she is. The Judgment card. Again, that 70s feel. This is so cute. So this is the World card and she has all 4 elements tattooed on her lower back there. Love it. Now we're into the suits. So we have the Ace of Cups. The 2. I love that these two seem so similar, like besties, just BFFs hanging out together. This is adorable. The 3 of Cups. Maybe really it's more 60s than 70s. Somebody will probably tell me down below. The 4 of Cups. She's like, no, I'm good. I got what I need. And seriously suspicious of this 4th cup is the energy I get from her posture and from her facial expression, which is an interesting thing to play with intuitively. Here we have the 5 of Cups, but she's got like a tear tattoo. At least that's how I interpret this image. So that's really cool. It's kind of like maybe she's identifying over much with her grief or with her sadness. The 6 of Cups. Making daisy chains. The 7 of Cups. You really get the overwhelm and the sort of daydreamy energy. And it's interesting what's in the cups. So you have the snake, the treasure, and the skull, which are pretty traditional. But then you have like medication or pills or drugs. You've got cigarettes. You have knives. So it's definitely got more of that sort of rebel bad girl energy going on. And the 8 of Cups. Totally works. The sass in this 9 of Cups is everything. I think this is great. It's total Rider-Waite-Smith, but with this like body posture of like, I don't give a crap what anybody else thinks of me. The 10 of Cups. I really find it interesting and kind of neat when decks feature only one person in the 10 of Cups, because it speaks to like finding that joy and fulfillment just for yourself, which I think is really cool. The Page of Cups. I love her. I identify with the Page of Cups quite a bit, so I always like when I like the card. And here she's like in my happy place, right? Just got a floaty in the water, living her best life. Everything's great. Our Knight of Cups has some serious sass, playful energy there. And the Queen of Cups. This is really interesting. I could kind of get the feeling from this card like she could get a little too into her emotions. This idea of sort of this octopi-like octopus-like tentacle kind of wrapping around her, almost maybe drawing her down into the sea, or trying to draw her down into the sea. And you also have like little octopi up here on her throne, which is super cute. And the King of Cups, sitting on top of the water. Almost this feeling of having taken off the mertail and taking a break on land. I'm not sure what I think of this thing on the lap here. Here we have the Ace of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles. She's managing pretty well, I think, or at least she thinks she is. The 3 of Pentacles. This is interesting. It almost gives me this feeling of working late into the night. Maybe because they're walking holding a candle or something and it's so dark. Interesting that they're by themselves, because a lot of times the 3 of Pentacles, you look at collaboration, right? What is everybody pitching in? The 4 of Pentacles. Here's another bell-bottom picture. Almost daring you to like mess with them, right? Very traditional 5 of Pentacles here out in the snow. The 6 of Pentacles. I think the impatience and the eagerness of the 7 of Pentacles really comes through here. It's like, okay, how's it going to turn out? Did I do everything right? How's it going to turn out? What's my harvest going to be like? The 8 of Pentacles, again, very traditional. Again, traditional with the 9 of Pentacles. Some of them I feel like bring in a lot more sass than others. This is a great 10 because we have 3 women here and 2 dogs. You get the feeling of sort of a found or created family, which I really like. The Page of Pentacles. The the Knight of Pentacles. Our Knights tend to be a little bit more like risque, I would say, which kind of makes sense when you think about the Knight. Here's our Knight of Cups, for example, next to our Knight of Pentacles, right? But it's interesting here because the Knight of Cups is like definitely more willing to be adventurous in a way, like more willing to take maybe emotional risks. And then our Knight of Pentacles is like prepped with all them bullets, right? You almost get this feeling like, okay, one's a little more prepared for the risk and one's maybe not as much. Kind of interesting. I'll be curious to see how that energy plays out in the other Knights. Here's our Queen of Pentacles. I think she really works in this position, or in this depiction. The King of Pentacles. Definitely looks like the boss, eh? Here's our Ace of Swords. Two of Swords. Three of Swords. Very rebel energy here. This reminds me of somebody who's gone to the bar after, and that's probably what it's meant to depict, after a breakup, and is like in that place where they're more likely to be bitter and resentful and like totally not open, like just don't mess with her energy again. Four of Swords, taking a little rest. Five of Swords. She's got a little bit of a evil laugh looking expression on her face, like she definitely knows she just got away with something. The Six of Swords. She's rowing herself off to somewhere new, and she's got an eye patch, so you get the idea that she's kind of got an injury from her past experience. Definitely racing and rushing in the Seven of Swords. Very bound up in the Eight of Swords, which is interesting. I usually like to see, I've mentioned this before, but I like to see an easy way out for the person in the Eight of Swords, because often we're not quite as restricted as we feel we are. It's interesting. Very spot on Nine of Swords. Ten of Swords, but no blood, which is really interesting. So again, you can kind of, and she's holding up her fingers in the peace sign, like, it's okay, I'm good, I've got it, everything's fine. Love it. Page of Swords. Knight of Swords. She looks super badass. Queen of Swords. King of Swords. And we're into the Wands. Ace of Wands. Two of Wands. Three. I love how curvy she is. I always notice that, obviously, in decks. It's just one of the things that I appreciate when it's there. Here we have two cheerleadery types. The Five of Wands. This makes me think of, I may have said this already at some point in my channel, like I got this during a live chat and showed a couple cards, but this reminds me of, you know, when you go to like a fancy restaurant and like all the female servers are wearing like the exact same like sort of short outfit, and they're like, I don't know, it just gives me that feeling of like sort of competing in sameness, or competing to be the same as each other, and like this unnecessary competition that's happening. That's kind of what this makes me think of. The Six of Wands. She doesn't need anybody to celebrate her. Like, she knows she deserves this accolade. That's what I get from that. Seven of Wands. Okay, I'm digging the camo mouse ears in this card, as well as her like preparedness, and she just looks like she can take any of these other six wands. This is the only card I'm not as fond of. You know, it's smoking, whatever. I quit smoking like many years ago. So I don't know, this doesn't really do it for me, but I get it. It's very on point and on theme with the rest of the deck and this rebel energy. As I mentioned before, there are cigarettes throughout the deck. Not a big deal, just something I noticed because I'm like, oh, Nine of Wands. I really like how sweet and pure she looks here. And she doesn't actually look as damaged as our Nine of Wands characters often do, which is interesting. Ten of Wands, you can definitely see some struggle there to carry everything. Page of Wands. Knight of Wands. This one's great. She looks like she's literally in like dressing up costume wise. So there's definitely a lot of flamboyance in this card. A nod to the red feather in the Knight of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith for sure. I adore this court card. The Queen of Wands with her kitty mask, all curled up like a cat with her tail, and still the sunflowers. Like, all the symbology you need is there, but I just think that's a really cute way to depict it in this deck. And our King of Wands, also love this with the salamander tattoo on her thigh. Again, all the symbology is there. It's really great. So let's get zoomed back out. Perfect. And let's give them a shuffle. So I'm really excited to edge these in black, because any time cards have like black borders, it's like they show this like white sort of like edge really easily, and they can look chipped super fast, which is something I don't love about this kind of cardstock, but it'll be good. So hand over hands glides really nicely. Let's give her a riffle. See how she does. Oh yeah. Really nice riffle. Love the colors in this deck. Let's lay out a few cards and see what we think. How they might look in a spread. Oops. Oh yeah. These look great. These look great. So that is the Bad Girl Tarot by Katie Skelly. I'm really excited to play with these. I think they're really fun. And it's nice to have some decks that have some sass. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. The box is really cute. I love the colors. I love the sort of 70s vibe. And I'm super excited to work with this in the future. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Remember to leave your comments down below. What did you think of this deck? Is this one you have? Let me know. Is it one you want? Let me know. Don't like it? Let us know. It's always fun to hear everybody's feedback. Remember to share this video if you know somebody who might like this deck or want this deck. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hang around with me. I post lots of videos, lots of deck walkthroughs, other tarot related content, monthly faves, that kind of stuff. And if you would like to book a reading with me, you can always do that over at supportivetarot.com. Thanks guys. Bye.